Leadership of the United Kingdom will change Wednesday as David Cameron steps down and Home Secretary Theresa May becomes Prime Minister. Former aide to the late British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher is familiar with Theresa May, but says that is no Thatcher. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
The swift power shuffle in the United Kingdom caught many observers in Washington by surprise, except for Nile Gardiner, who is the director of the Heritage Foundation's Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom. Gardiner says the new prime minister is likely to be very businesslike, and any comparisons with Margaret Thatcher are overblown.
Well, Theresa May has been the Home Secretary since 2010, and she does have a reputation for being a rather tough, businesslike figure. So she has been a very prominent member of the British cabinet for many years. She's seen as a safe pair of hands, a very experienced politician. She was one of 5 candidates in the Conservative Party leadership race.
Although May has been compared to the late British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, Gardiner, who worked for Thatcher, says the comparison is not entirely accurate.
While there have been some comparisons made between Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher, I think they're very different political figures. Margaret Thatcher was a deeply ideological conservative. Theresa May is not. But Theresa May does, though, I think, have a firm reputation for being a politician of some resolve.
Ironically, May did not campaign for the Brexit initiative to leave the European Union, and now she is the head of the Conservative Party, which overwhelmingly favored Brexit. Gardiner says this could be a problem for May.
If there's any evidence that the Prime Minister is backsliding on her pledge to implement the Brexit process, there is going to be, I think, a potential rebellion within the Conservative Party. And so Theresa May, of course, has to work very, very hard to ensure that those who supported Brexit within the Conservative Party, at least 70% of Conservative Party members back Brexit, she has to deliver upon her campaign promises.
Normally, the campaign between May and her opponent Andrea Leadsom for leader of the Conservative Party would have gone on until the fall. But seeing weak support amongst Conservatives, Leadsom unexpectedly withdrew, says Gardiner. That left May as the new head of the Conservative Party. And in the UK, it is the head of the Conservative Party who is Prime Minister in a parliament dominated by Conservatives. That meant David Cameron had to step down sooner than anyone had expected. John Hines, One America News, Washington.